Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first story is titled, Am I a Jerk for Accidentally Upsetting My Niece by Saying Her Mom's Life Would Be Better If She Wasn't Born? To summarize, I'm a 32-year-old female and I got into an argument over something ridiculous, and now everyone's mad at me. When my sister, a 26-year-old female, was 17, she got pregnant and had a baby girl. Obviously, since she was young, she wasn't exactly ready to raise a kid, but my family did the best that we could to help her out. She currently has a stable job and is living with her child and her child's father in her own apartment. The issue is that since she had the baby so young, she never really got to experience life. I'm child free and I'm always enjoying new life experiences, and I know my sister is jealous of me for it. The other day, I came over for her daughter's birthday party, and we were talking about her as a baby. At one point, we started to argue about how she was raised, and I said, Don't you ever think that your life would have been better if she had never been born? It turns out that her daughter was in earshot of this, so she heard everything and got really upset. My sister got defensive and said that her child was the best thing to ever happen to her, called me a jerk, and kicked me out of the party. She blocked my number and won't talk to me at all now. My mom says that I should apologize, but my dad agrees with me on this and says my sister is overreacting. Maybe I was a bit too aggressive when I said it, but I know what I said is true. Am I the jerk for what I did?
Yes.
Really, OP? Amber says yes. Really, OP? You want to know if you're a jerk for telling a child, basically behind their back, in front of their face, that their mother would be better off if they were never born. And you want to know if you're the jerk in this situation or not. And you're wondering if your sister overreacted in this situation. What do you folks think? I think that OP is extraordinarily tone deaf in this conversation. Your sister is living a life that maybe you wouldn't want to live, but that doesn't necessarily mean that she isn't happy and that she isn't enjoying herself and getting new life experiences. Like, there are things that are more difficult to do with a child, but having a child in its own right is a life experience, and that's not a life experience thing that you are partaking in. And not that I'm saying that you have to, but it is to contrast saying that, well, she's not getting any new life experiences. Well, I would disagree. And I think that you trying to convince her that her life would be better if her daughter wasn't born is just plain tacky. Why would you even bring that up? You didn't need to say that. It was really uncalled for. So I do think you should apologize, and I don't think your sister's overreacting. Anyhow, take care and good luck. One thing I would like to point out is that the only person who sounds jealous here is you. Jealous, petty, and cruel. Your sister is living the best life she can with everything in the world gave to her, and you're disparaging her privately and publicly because it doesn't fit with your ideal. Sounds to me like your sister turns lemons into lemonade in the form of a beautiful child and a successful life, and you're the sour one. She needs to apologize to her niece too. The poor girl just heard her aunt say that it would have been better if she hadn't been born. That's just messed up on so many levels. You're the jerk. Holy cow! I was eager to read this, thinking something along the lines of, come on now, let's find out what the context is before jumping to conclusions. But nope, 100%, you are a certified grade A, worst of the worst jerk. It was a party, the kid's birthday party. The kid's birthday party. Even if the kid wasn't within earshot, that's not an okay thing to say. I would suggest that you apologize, but part of me thinks that your sister and her family is better off with no contact from you. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not offering my hotel room to the bride? Last year, I'm a 35-year-old female and my friend, a 35-year-old female, asked me to be a bridesmaid. We met in college and have been close for about 10 years. Throughout the wedding planning, I've been helping her with different tasks when she asks, or I'll offer to help when I can. I've been responsive and attentive whenever she posts something in the bridesmaids group chat. In May, she mentioned that she would like to hang out with all the bridesmaids on the night before the wedding, and maybe we could all stay at an Airbnb. Then she added that the other bridesmaids would be bringing their significant others. This made me uncomfortable because it's a lot of people. I knew all of the couples would want their own room, and I would get the couch or something. So I explained to her that I'll be getting a hotel room instead, but I'll still help her look into it. By the end of May, I sent a group chat link to the Airbnb and my hotel room was booked. One note about the hotel room, my sister booked it and we would be sharing it. She planned on sightseeing while I was doing bridesmaid stuff. This Saturday, the bride sent a message asking everyone about their accommodations. I replied, but none of the other bridesmaids replied. She sent a more aggressive text on Sunday saying that she felt like she didn't have bridesmaids, no support of this whole time. Everyone is ignoring her, etc. Her main complaint was that it was 2 months before her wedding and no one had offered to share a room with her. The bride already knew my room situation. The text sounded a bit unhinged, so I texted her separately to check in on her. She said we'll talk later. Up until this point, I didn't think there would be any reason for her to be upset with me and was trying to be supportive. When she replied later, it was the same group chat, only this time it was directed at me specifically. While still trying to be understanding of whatever stress she has, I expressed that I was hurt by her words and defended myself by reminding her that I never ignored her. The last message from her ripped into me and how I didn't include her in my room plans from the beginning, or ask my sister to let her stay with us. So Reddit, am I the jerk for not offering my hotel room to the bride? What do you folks think? Jerk or no jerk?
Not the jerk.
Amber says not the jerk. I say not the jerk. What is this bride thinking here? I mean, maybe the stress has gotten to her, but this is pretty absurd here. Like, OP explained the situation. OP knew that everyone was going to want their own room, and they opted, instead of getting an Airbnb, to get a hotel room. And, you know, it sounds like the bride had plenty of opportunity to say, oh, hey, I would have really have appreciated it if you stayed at the Airbnb with us instead. But she never made that kind of comment or complaint. So, you know, I have a really hard time faulting OP in this particular case. And I would have a hard time faulting OP even if the bride did reach out and say that OP should consider staying at the Airbnb. We each have to make our own decisions about what we're comfortable with. And in this particular case, OP was not comfortable with a large group of people and sleeping on a couch, and I can't blame them. So, OP, I don't think that you're the jerk in this situation. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, she is being ridiculous. Why didn't she book her own place or directly ask you from the beginning to share a room with her if that's what she wanted? And OP replies, I was wondering the same thing. I really thought I was doing right by her and the bridesmaids' duties up until this whole thing. Alright, our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for marrying my wife without my kids there? Throwaway and on mobile. I'm a 42-year-old male and my wife is a 43-year-old female. Together we have 8 kids. Mine are a 16-year-old male, a 15-year-old male, a 13-year-old female, and I have a 50-50 with their mother who left me 8 years ago. Hers are a 16-year-old male, a 15-year-old male, a 13-year-old male, 11-year-old male, and a 7-year-old female. The Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch. That's the way we became the Brady Bunch. I met her in December last year. She was widowed in November. This is a story. Is this really real? I don't know. We got engaged 2 weeks ago in front of all the kids who were very happy. Then my kids went to their mother's house for the regular week with her kids. While they were there, I married my wife. It wasn't a big wedding, just a nice evening out on the waterfront. Her kids were with her grandparents, and again, mine were with their mother. I talked to them several times during the week like I usually do. When they came home from their mother's house, my daughter noticed I was wearing a wedding ring. At that point, we told the kids that we were married. Then we had a barbecue with cake. My kids say that I'm the jerk for not inviting them. My wife says that this is what she wanted and it's okay they weren't there. I might be a jerk though for not having my kids at my wedding. Alright, OP, I think that this is actually a tricky situation. Like, if you wanted to elope and not have many people at your wedding, I think that an elopement is a perfectly acceptable thing to want and to desire. I think that your kids were probably hurt because they felt excluded and they felt like they wanted some way of celebrating this with you, and they maybe feel like you took this away from them, or maybe they feel like this is moving too fast, or any number of things. So it might just be one of those situations where maybe whatever you did would have been wrong by them. But, I think it would have been worth at least having your kids at the wedding. I don't know that, I'm really torn on this situation. I don't know that I consider you fully a jerk in this situation, but I do understand why your kids would be hurt to be not invited. So, I don't know. What do you folks think? Do you think that they're the jerk or not the jerk?
Jerk.
Amber says the jerk. Why do you say that they're a jerk, Amber?
Because when couples with who already have children get married, it's about joining families as well. So it's a nice gesture to have the kids there if you're really trying to create a new family unit.
That's a really good point. I mean, I think that excluding them kind of helps to take away the impact of joining a family together. And with the kids, it might be especially difficult. So I think it is a bit of a tricky situation. And I think Amber brings up a good point. Sorry, but I think you're the jerk. I would imagine your kids feel like you're already choosing your new wife over them. And unfortunately, they're not even wrong. A wedding, when you have a minor child, isn't just you and your wife coming together. It's your families too. Your kids are part of this. Not including them in the day, if they wanted to be there, wasn't the right move, in my opinion. Which is basically what Amber said. So, I mean, yeah, actually, I kind of actually am inclined to agree with them, Amber, and this top comment here. I'm going to have to change my vote to they're the jerk here. I think that this is actually a really persuasive point. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. If you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow.